Thou art in heaven. 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 Thou art in
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf. And I'm Jeremy Jones. On my
after a long shift to find a note waiting for you on the countertop. You recognize Sam's hurried scrawl. Chris has been evicted for not paying rent. You know where this is headed. Sam's gone to pick up Chris's stuff from the street. Oh no, don't wait up. Chris is gonna live with us now. Underlined twice. So this is your fault now, is it? You sulkily press play on the cheap horror film you were going to watch together. It used to absolutely terrify you as a kid, but always makes the two of you laugh. It's not the same without Sam, but you still chuckle to yourself occasionally. Oh no, is Sam dead? Just as you get to the good bit, the part where Candy decides to investigate alone, your 14-year-old son interrupts. He wants to go to a friend's house. He looks at you in a way only a child can, pleading but somehow defiant. This is late night and he wants to go to a friend's house. And how old is he? 14 years old. Huh? You tell Charlie no. He knows he's not allowed out this late on a school night. Charlie's voice gets louder and louder as he sees you're not going to change your mind. You pretend that it's for my own good, but really, you just want to be left alone. I fucking hate you. He hesitates. He knows he's gone too far, but in his rage, he can't bring himself to back down. Before you can open your mouth, he storms up the stairs and slams his doors. You check in on your son before you head to bed. You knock on Charlie's door, and when there's no answer, you quietly open it. Your son is under the vet, sulking. He's determinedly facing the wall, but once it's clear you're not leaving until he talks to you, he sighs and turns to face you. He needs to learn to control his temper. He begrudgingly apologizes for his outburst, and both of you sleep much easier, having cleared the air. $48. A tight Christmas. You can't help but crack a smile as you look around the table. The snow has settled on the grass outside. The kids are pulling a cracker while your elderly mother tries to keep her eyes open. You did always have a soft spot for Christmas. You're sitting at the head of the table now, your dad's place. It's been a tense afternoon. Everyone can feel it. It's the first time you've seen Chris since you refused to part with your passport. It's a big change for Sam. The two siblings used to be inseparable. Christmas is usually such a nice time of the year. The clatter of cutlery is all that can be heard as Chris stares pointedly at you. You make a toast. You stand and raise your glass. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm glad we're all here. There are murmurs of cheers and much clinking of glasses. Chris doesn't move. Yeah, we're all here. No thanks to you. Chris, sighs Sam. Come on now, it's Christmas. Can we put that behind us? I wasn't talking to you. Chris stands drunkenly. What did you say? Comes the hissed response. Enough, both of you, Sam insists. Sorry, did I stutter? Chris launches themselves. Oh, and then Chris is like a them. At you across the table, upsetting a meager plate of potatoes which smashes on the hard floor. You're taken aback as Chris's fist swings and catches you in the temple. Your mother shrieks as blood bursts from above your eye. You scramble towards Chris before Sam screams, "Enough!" Everyone freezes. You haven't heard Sam's raised voice for a long time, and it seems to have worked. The room is still now and silent, but for your panting and the whimpering of your and the whimpering of your poor mother. Without another word, Chris stalks from the room. Your children can't bring themselves to look at you as you sit back down the head of the table. Merry fucking Christmas. Why did they invite Chris to begin with? It's just gonna create trouble. He looked up to see Charlie nudging his sister. What about your holiday? Weren't you going to ask for? Susie interrupts him. It doesn't matter. Clearly no one cares what we want. And with a clatter of plates, she's gone, leaving you with a silent son and a traumatized mother. Merry fucking Christmas. Maybe next year. A welcome windfall. Hey. Wait, did I hit continue on... Oh, did I select a different game mode? Well, there's a lot of text now. You're leafing through the pile of accumulated posts. Each new bill pulls on your gut like a lead weight until a flash of blue makes you pause. Recognizing the teal Advance logo on the envelope, you tear it open. Dear Winston residents, thank you for sending us your passports for approval. We can now confirm their receipt and validation for the new Assets and Wealth Redemption Scheme. Hopefully this will make the last month of arguments with Sam worth it. As such, it is our pleasure to enclose a check which we hope you will see as a symbol, not only of our gratitude to you, but of our unwavering commitment to create a society free of inequality. Throbbing of your fresh speed and use paper cut is the only reason you can believe you're awake. A check, and a sizable one at that. Chris was right, Advance really are redistributing wealth. We will continue to strive for the betterment of this nation and its people. Forward together, Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. The weight of your financial burden is lessened slightly. It's bliss. When are we gonna go back? A long weekend. When are we gonna go back to the studio? Why does the zip on this damn case never close? It's your anniversary. Every year you and Sam go away for the weekend. Usually camping. You're not made of money. You've been looking forward to it for ages. Finally getting some time together when you can forget about the noise of life. No kids, no work. Just a bit of romance and some peace and quiet. The zip finally gives up the battle and you drag the bulging suitcase down the stairs. The answering machine is blinking on the hall table. Good evening, Alex. This is Mr. Bozeman. I'm calling you to inform you that you will be required to work this weekend. Your heart sinks. Some information has come to light concerning the rising tensions between our nation and foreign powers, and the National Nightly News team will be working around the clock to ensure we break the story first. Needless to say, I will expect your attendance tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Have a pleasant evening, Alex. Shock turns to annoyance and then fury. What are you going to tell Sam? Sam comes downstairs brimming with excitement, kissing you. They grab... I guess this ain't just they, so you can imagine these people as whatever sex you want them to be, I suppose. Which is really odd. They grab the car keys from the dish and start to load your bags into the back. Gonna work! We need money! You sigh heavily. You're going to go, aren't you? The voice behind you makes you whip around. You nod simply. Of course you are. It's too much to expect for you to put your family first for once, God forbid. I don't know why I bother, Alex. I really don't. And with that, Sam's gone. The front door swings slightly in the silence. Well, you like money, don't you? Oh, and then we don't even go back to check out what we do. What the heck? A permission slip. I should have just stayed with her. I thought if I said I'd go, that I can get to play the game again. Your son Charlie hovers at your elbow as you read. Do you find yourself striving to achieve? Are you an active member of the team? Do you like reaping the benefits of cooperation? Join the Advanced Go-Getters today. Forward, together. This doesn't sound like the youth club he told you about. Charlie grabs a flyer from you and thrusts a form into your hand. So I can walk there straight from school and Ben's sister can drop us after. So you won't have to do anything. Go back to the previous. What was the explanation on that? Yeah, sure. Well, why not? If he really wants to be, your son is thrilled. It's heartwarming to see him so passionate about becoming an active part of the community. They're recruiting them young. A profitable partnership. What? After a particularly long day at work, you come home to find the post sorted into piles, as Sam has taken to doing recently. Most of it is the usual rubbish, but a letter with the increasingly familiar Advanced logo. An urgent respond immediately plastered on the front in a correspondingly urgent red font grabs your attention. Dear Winston residents, this letter is to inform you that the Advanced government has taken another step forward in our fight for equality by nationalizing the largest private corporations and redistributing their resources among the citizens of this great country. The Partnership Bond Program ensures that wealth created by people is delivered to the people. You don't remember this being in the manifesto. Every household will become a partner in one of three carefully selected institutions, chosen by Advanced for consistent high performance and financial security. Please note, all returns are based on public opinion and cannot be guaranteed. Please select one of the following. Eye of the beholder. Whether it's cosmetics, clothing, or couture, we see the beauty in all our customers. Neil's Deals Limited. It's always a steal from Crazy Neil. Oh no, nobody wants it. Nobody wants that. Crazy Neil is crazy. Pleasure Core. Our business is your pleasure. From sport to travel or even just some you time, you can't say pleasure without leisure. We'll go with pleasure. Thank you for making your selection. Please return this form using the envelope provided. You will receive a report from your partnerships in 3 to 6 working months. It seems even Advanced can't defeat the quagmire of governmental bureaucracy. The future of this nation is in partnership. Forwards together. Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Just how much influence could you have? Teenage rebellion. Starting to get rich. You step out of your old car in silence. Sam slams the door and you wince, hoping the door won't come off its hinges. You don't say anything. Now it's not the time. As you approach the front desk, you feel physically sick. Okay, let me just check to see if I if I selected the right option to continue the game. Because this is a lot of text. Maybe they're just doing this to give you a lot of story in between the office jobs. So.
Thou art in heaven. 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 Thou art in heaven.
Okay, because of the way I have set up Twitch, I can't even check my gameplay footage right now. So, while I'm streaming, so I guess we'll just keep going. Eventually, after what seems like an eternity, your daughter is brought out by an officer with a kind face. She's a good kid, but if we pick her up for graffiti again, we will have to charge her. Just charge her. You nod and apologize on Susie's behalf as Sam hugs your shell-shocked daughter. As you shake her hand, the officer lowers her voice. Keep her away from that boy and I think she'll be fine. In the car, you attempt to broach the subject with Susie, but Susie refuses to say a word. After a while, you give up your questions about who this boy might be and just drive. Hours later, you stare at the ceiling, worrying. The stillness in the bedroom is the only sign that Sam is also wide awake. Who is Susie hanging out with? Why is she acting out? Neither of you are going to sleep tonight. Very advanced. Finally going back to the office. It's so hot in this house. The Tempest. Okay, so that's just to give you a background on what's going on in the country, I guess, with all this story with you and your family.
Good evening, Alex. It's Boozman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show. Total Pim. God, that revolts nasty.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talked to you.
The problem is really little bit.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accident slip out?
Correct. Starting in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Dillon.
I'm Megan Wolf. I'll make stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
Critics have been quick to dismiss.
Oh shit, I'm not paying attention.
Or an act of frustration by a tiny, disorganized group of those who will never, under any circumstances, be content.
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Holdensborg and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
While both options are still on the table, support seems to be growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
Bloodbath avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehogs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle, as only 7 children were horribly injured by the lethal toy. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julia Salt, who mobilized numerous government resources to record the product immediately after the first blindings, said today that the new advance mark, which must be earned by all new products, will be a 100% ironclad guarantee of safety and quality.
Fallen angel? Notorious addict Johnny Hansleaf seems to have reached a new low in his battle with booze, as this recent picture reveals.
Johnny's star certainly lacks its former glow these days, with public concern over his mental and physical health growing at an alarming rate.
Since being banned from the national squad earlier this year after urinating on a referee during a friendly against East Grinchley, things seem to have gone from bad to worse for Hansleaves.
Is his once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sports?
And radical ideas. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Remington's Fist CEO Sophia Remington today announced a surprising new project that already has the markets raising an eyebrow.
Known for taking risks and bold strategies, could the adventurous CEO be leading the business giant down a dark alley, or taking it to a new level of success?
The manufacturing giant promises that the Junior Employment Opportunity Scheme will not only increase employment but also productivity. But critics are speaking out against what they're calling child labour. The scheme is being marketed under the slogan, "Lots of little hands to make lots of little things."
With that exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon live at the first annual Sports Board final.
You are
What?
going to miss a second of tonight's
National Nightly News.
30 seconds back. Did you feel it? I just felt a drip on my head.
Oh, shit.
Didn't sit down.
Naturally, a lot of them tell themselves there's
Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus Christ.
But first tonight, while Advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, whose standards of living increased considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
That's right, Megan. The formerly aristocratic members of our society have had to make major adjustments to come to terms with the new regime.
Robin Short is in suburbia investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan. I'm here in moderate Hatchings to talk to Wentworth and Penelope Somerset Bentley,
Wait,
who
what?
relocated to the house you see behind me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Quite frankly, Robin, we're not settling in at all. Our neighbours are whitewatters.
Simply untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but this is seeming as a Wednesday hatch party with too much spatting.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry, Robin, my sister's under a lot of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered, Robin.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with women's, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big house.
Big house. There's grubby little gutter spatting. That's one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room in the same bloody place. Imagine that. And everyone's grub in one room. One room, Robin.
So what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for far too long, and that these redistributions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fuss and sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Wow, you've asked the right bloody question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. I wonder what happened to him. Daddy heard you shooting with the bulldogs and you ran off into the woods. And that's probably my last happy memory, Robin.
Tragic. Well, what can you do?
We will rise and
Jesus
rebel.
Christ.
We wage war on our revolting rulers with righteous words and rebellious writings. Our best guess in our quest to address is to divest our breast and another guest protest.
Oh, what's that?
Daddy! Daddy, it's
Daddy!
Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Right, you buggers! Cheerio! Tilly! Get the dog!
Tilly's our mummy. She's proper practicing too.
Well, at least you are showing some shame.
Somerset Bentley, glad to meet you. See the protest has started already? Nice sharp work, boy. We get angry and
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be budding well heard, that's all.
Shit.
Penelope, we are nude, not rude.
Sorry, Daddy.
We want the world to realise we won't roll over and run away. We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will.
Are you okay? Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one of the top zones, it's back here in the studio. I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in moderate hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. That's I'm sure you have.
Oh,
But
shit.
can I make it protest movement? Everyone will catch on. It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a very different place.
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Oh, sorry, I'm busting.
Wait, what? What low tape? What? I No, hold on. There was something I didn't do right, apparently. Usually they allow you to click on the right hand side there to just select which ad you want to put in, but I couldn't even. I don't understand why I can't get the ad in the ad to play.
I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break.
Uh-oh.
That's the lot. Have a great show.
Oh, how do I? It's already in, right? Because why are they still showing there is what I don't understand. Maybe that was the problem. Oh, so they were never loaded in. Okay. Oh, fuck.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on
No!
buildings.
No. Jesus Christ, you have to do it quick. It's like everything's going on in real time, which is, I guess, the allure of this game. But, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Adverts loaded. I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert.
Wow.
The second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show.
That was the problem.
Oh, how's it going, Steve? Why are all men such pricks?
That one.
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his friend.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talked to you.
The problem is really awful.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality actually slip out?
Bricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Johnson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
Critics have been quick to dismiss the graffiti as a publicity stunt, or an act of frustration by a tiny, disorganized group of those who will never, under any circumstances, be content.
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering two possible options.
With two of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
While
Dante's
both options
taint.
are still on the table, support seems to be growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
La Barre avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehogs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so kind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle, as only 7 children were horribly injured by the
shit.
beautiful toy. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julius Salt, who mobilised numerous government resources to recall the product immediately after the first grindings, said today that the new advance mark, which must be earned by all new products, will be a 100% ironclad guarantee of safety and quality.
Fallen angel? Notorious addict Johnny Hansleeve seems to have reached a new low in his battle with booze, as this recent picture reveals.
Johnny's star certainly lacks its former glow these days, with public concern over his mental and physical health growing at an alarming rate.
Since being banned from the national squad earlier this year after urinating on a referee during a friendly against East Grinchley, things seem to have gone from bad to worse for Hansleeves.
This is one celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sports.
And radical ideas. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Rimington's Fist CEO Sophia Rimington today announced a surprising new project that already has the markets raising an eyebrow.
Known for taking risks and bold strategies, could the adventurous CEO be leading the business giant down a dark alley, or taking it to a new level of success?
We understand the Mobile Orientation Operational Borrowing Service will be a new international travel system based around the construction of a major tunnel through the centre of the Earth. Sophia Rimington claims it will make travelling from one side of the world to the other the matter of an afternoon. Geologists are concerned about the implications of digging a hole through the planet, while flat earthers claim it should be quite easy.
With that exclusive Prime Minister interview going on there.
Very own Patrick Bannon live
Shit.
at the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's
National Nightly News. Tonight. While Advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, who've seen their wealth and standards of living increase considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
That's right, Megan. The formerly aristocratic members of our society have had to make major adjustments to come to terms with the new regime.
Robin Short is in suburbia investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan. I'm here in moderate Hatching to talk to Wentworth and Penelope Somerset Bentley, who were relocated to the house you see behind me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Well, quite frankly, Robin, we're not settling in at all. Our neighbours are whitewatters.
Simply untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but it's as steaming as a Wednesday hatch basket with too much slatting.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry, Robin, my sister's under a lot of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered, Robin.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with ribbons, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big house.
Big house? This grubby little gaddis smash only has one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room in the same bloody place. Imagine that, having all one's grub in one room. One room, Robin.
So what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for far too long, and that these redistributions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fuss's sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Wow, you've asked the right bloody question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. Oh, I wonder what happened to him. Daddy tried to shoot him in the buttocks and he ran off into the woods. That's probably my last happy memory, Robin.
Tragic, but what can you do?
We will rise and rebel. We wage war on our revolting rulers with righteous words and rebellious writings. Our best guess in our quest to redress is to divest our breasts and undress their just protest.
Oh, what's that?
Daddy! Daddy!
Daddy! Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Right, you buggers! Cheerio!
Oh, Tilly's our mummy. She's proper good to us too.
Well, at least you are showing some shame.
Somerset Bentley, glad to meet you. See, the protest has started already. Nice sharp work, boy. He gets that from me,
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be fucking well heard, that's all.
Language, Penelope. We are news, not rules.
Sorry, Daddy.
We want the world to realise we won't roll over and run away. We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will. Stop a pip-pop.
Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one of the topics, it's back here in the studio. I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in moderate hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. Well, that's certainly a story we want to be keeping an eye on, eh, Megan?
Speak for yourself there, Jeremy, but I've seen enough sharp work to last me a lifetime.
I'm sure you have. But can a naked protest movement ever really catch on? It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a very different place.
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
Oh, sorry, I'm busting.
Oh, he's funny.
Yes, I know. It's very interesting.
She wants your job.
Alex, Boozman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Boozman out.
The bladder. This can cause trouble starting to pee, and it can cause laundry-based trouble between you and your she-demon of an ex-wife. So what caused this big old prostate in your bum? Well, sorry, me and the doctors, we don't know. But I can tell you, as you get older, your body changes. And that's okay. If you're worried about
That's what
your
it says.
skin from the
Yes,
south,
I understand that, but I always say welcome back.
Okay, we should just keep it as it is.
Well, of course you do. I've got one hack line.
What's that supposed to mean? I didn't write it, Jeremy.
That's all right, fine. Jenny, there's something wrong with the auto cue.
10
Oh,
seconds.
I just felt a drip again. I better fix this.
You want to see us fry? Good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan, you drove in live here for the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Ellie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the Orangi Hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending. There's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the finger now, Harris. Just waiting on the ref now, the slapping ceremony taking part. Still going on. Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brain. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerve show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker. For shots number 3. All right.
Christ.
She's gone to sort of throwing under her legs. Not bad if you ask me. Turn away. To Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Move back. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope the round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section, it's time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends.
Oh, I missed him playing the camera.
And of course, now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense. Striker giving it large. Second round, wins a round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. Apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. You appear to have some slogans across breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that. Security, I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying
Jesus.
to play, but it's proving a bit difficult. I'm struggling to follow. Because it's quite nice, and women's bodies. Yeah. All right, great. Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. No, it's just one of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that a fitted thumb screw? He answers out of the heat. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. There's, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastery in this play here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an accident shot. What a miserable start for Tommy Harris. But he's a late bloomer, of course, always stay back. And after all, he's again 2 holes. 4 rounds and 7 something. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. What's about doing to the pitch? Must be some music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another pass protest to loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. He's running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was shaping up to be quite a dancing salute there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security's on it. And the bucket's been knocked over! I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again. Woodward cannot be in the final pose. And an ugly finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these 2 players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't. Thank you. Not bad. Well, that ball boy's giving me the eye all the way play. Striker there, not a great start. Just a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. But what I wouldn't give to be that ball, am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because of course if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to Striker. Striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course, perhaps. And yes, Harris has counted with the tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course, we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mug. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Harris received possession now.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. Here we go. Tommy Harris. That's all right. That's all right. Not bad day. Threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Absolute contact and caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Any striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, right. Next to the net now. I don't know what I'm going to be doing about this. I mean, sort of breast and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much to do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they?
Oh God.
I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters are hoping we get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. What's going on here? Yes, yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters. An absolute bloody. Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round, and of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a 9 round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris, a really good goal at this point. Really high level play here from two absolute juggernauts of the sport. The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she's spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there. It's one leg top from the striker. But she's in it to win it. On it, like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he has any potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's put it out of the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris! Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic. There we go, Jeremy. That is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please. And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is everyone!
Once again, a win for everyone. Including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. Looking forward to some. And all I always have to say, Jeremy, is
what was that?
Patrick Bannon had an extraordinary final.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Oh, yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
And when we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shot me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shot me. Where's that sound guy?
Everything okay?
Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now, apparently.
You'll be fine. You're unshockable.
I'm immune to your cheap flattery.
I'm wearing you down.
Postman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is causing the odd power surge, so your controls might be a bit dangerous. Now I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions. Postman out.
of all, your star seems to be in the ascendant.
It's a great time to be alive.
You're bloody right, Peter Clement.
Megan Wolf.
Well, that's a full man shake you've got there.
She's tougher than she looks. Am I here?
Here with Mr. Helen on your left.
Right you are, Cat.
You see, Dan.
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine.
Have you had a little accident?
She's a cat.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whinges.
People who've yet to benefit from many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to be.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
Someone's tripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts projects.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death. It's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that advance would cure death?
Yeah, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful, and much less expensive. Look, which is me close up camera there. When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. We had to go to the hospital. My granddad, he collapsed that morning. So we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. We were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I live.
Was that the last time you saw him?
No, 3 days later we were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He wouldn't even wait till half time.
That sounds...
It was awful. Awful for us. And this is the point. It were awful for him. They could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she agreed. Oh, she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children. She was her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who chooses. For people who feel they've run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, my apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got a second. Can I get a little bit of help here? Please.
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
That one was
Oh God.
But, sorry, the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of...
Oh God.
Don't get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information report tonight to tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Come on, Megan. We're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports World Final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
So they just... I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
It's my nephew, so we transitioned over.
Oh my God. Exceedingly poor edit. Oh, because of the late ad also.
We join Jeremy and the team. There's just time for a brief look at what's coming up later tonight on Channel 1. At 6:30, it's a brief history of sports board, where Patrick Bannon will be taking a look at the surprising rise of the...
I'm Megan Wolf.
and Megan.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
Critics have been quick to dismiss the graffiti as a publicity stunt, or an act of frustration by a tiny, disorganized group of those who will never, under any circumstances, be content.
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, Doctors Ingrid Sforsborg and Holdensborg and David Wong announced today that they're considering two possible options.
With two of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
While both options are still on the table, support seems to be growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
Bloodbath avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehogs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle.
I
as
forgot
only
to
7
switch the
children were
camera
horribly
back.
injured by the lethal tour. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julia Salt, who mobilized numerous government resources.
What toilet butler was from Spinstead? Dear George.
In the studio.
Oh, I did this purposely.
Well, Jeremy,
There's one more, I think, today.
Check on the news.
Oh.
Hey, get the dog. Stereo. Hey, get the dog.
Taylor's unmasked.
Oh my god. Let's just see how bad this.
Trouble between you and your she-demon of an ex-wife. So what caused this big old prostate in your bum? Well, sorry, me and the doctors, we don't know. But I can tell you, as you get older, your body changes. And that's okay. If you're worried about your swollen bum sack, book an appointment, for God's sake. Procedure is easy, it's quick, and it's not gay. I'm Tommy the Fingernail Harris. Rectums, check them.
And his nail is like all dark and shit.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News.
With Swansea players today, Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the Orangi hamster, and facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending. There's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brain. Stupid. Eddie Striker. But, not bad if you ask me. Better way to Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Football. Move back. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that... breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that security, I'm sure that... Striker giving it large.
Second round, Double, Harrison.
Wins a round 2 now with Harris. Okay, he seems to have some sort of streak on the pitch. Apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. She appears to have slogans across her breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that security. I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on the play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow. Because it's quite nice, and...
Yeah, what I'll probably do is like maybe after I've completed the game, just do like record like footage of all my first attempts for these broadcasts.
I'll be talking.
Luxury. Isn't that what we all deserve at the end of a life well lived?
Yeah, we can watch that in the ad section.
Definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to...
They have these buckets out there on the floor.
The new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some just don't know how to be.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
Someone's tripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death, in fact. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry.
Probably shouldn't have to do the long shot because of the bucket, so maybe they mentioned something about that, I'm not sure.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera?
Oh,
Beth?
sorry, yes, it's camera one.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. Yes, sorry, my apologies.
Into an
Jesus! Fuck! This phone package just given me an electric shock!
Are you okay?
I don't know, I think it's
You're still on the air, Peter?
Yes, sorry, my apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got zapped again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So, even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they've run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline into an
Jesus! Fuck! This phone package just given me an electric shock!
Are you okay?
Where are the lightning? I just want to see. Yeah, those lightning strikes.
9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He wouldn't even wait till half time.
That sounds...
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me man, watching him slowly fade away, and he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't, or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered
So she
for
wasn't
and
reacting
paid
to
for
the
by
lightning
government.
outside. She was
So
just reacting with him
even
getting
the
zapped in the
poorest
ass
citizen
all that time.
gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they've run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline into an
Jesus! Fuck! This phone package just given me an electric shock!
Are you okay?
I don't know, I think it's fuck.
You're still on the air, Peter?
Yes, sorry, my apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got zapped again. Can I get a little bit of help?
Oh my god.
Kids, you love them, we love them, and
and they just love Mr. Snugglehugs. Yeah! With his state-of-the-art human-like voice to keep them company when you can't. And his incredible real-action eyes. It's no wonder Mr. Snugglehugs is the gift your child wants this Christmas. All the other kids have got one. That's right, little one. You don't want to be left out. Oh, Mr. Snugglehugs, you're so silly. Mr. Snugglehugs in stores now and selling out fast.
Real action eyes like that.
Good evening, I'm Evan Wolf.
I'm Joe McDonald. Our main headlines tonight.
Thou art in heaven. Thou art in heaven.